I'm going to show you my teeth so that you can. Yes, that's Abby's. All right, so Aileen Dorothea Atkins, this is what I've become. I never used to really look in the mirror because, last time I looked in the mirror, I was kind of cute, but now I look like a girl. So, I'm showing myself because there's a lot of lies surrounding my name. Um, I'm listening to Tarot now, and there are some people saying that I sell myself on the internet, and that's real crazy. They're saying I use drugs, which I never have. I don't know if that's Johnny Will Lofton's Mary. She drives a car similar to that. I never have. So I want to say to whoever fraudulently married me, I have never been married. Never been married. So I don't know who's telling these lies. I do want to say that we have been here where we are now. I'm cleaning thanks to Dorothy Atkins. Let me just do the flown flip. I don't. Okay, so I took everything out of here. We don't have any furniture, so everything has to sit on the floor. You see? I'm getting ready to mop the floor with Creolina Rex, and that's a spiritual cleansing. And this is good if you have pets. We have pets. And spiritually speaking, it's supposed to run away any kind of evil demons or anything like that. I need 10 more bottles. So you all buy me some and just drop it off. You can leave it right at the front door, throw it in the yard. I don't care. So I'm going to clean the floor, sweep, mop, and we really need a couple of bookshelves or something. Other than that, we have to neatly place everything back in on the floor, which still causes it to look junky because there's no shelving. All right, so I want to say thank you to my mother, Dorothy Jean Atkins Starks, who taught me that by New Year's, your house need to be clean. Now, this house has been deteriorating for decades. I've been back and forth here for about 30 years, and it is a very solid house, and we're grateful to be here. We got here July 28th of 2023 on a Friday. God spoke to me and he said, you really need to get up, get your children out of the KFC parking lot, get the dogs out of the KFC parking lot, and get them to a safe location. And Johnny B. Smith Jr. first and Senior later welcomed us to come here. And with Mr. Fred's support through the years, when I had problems, he amened it. Mr. Fred lives right there with, I don't know, Yvette Bright or Sonia. I'm not sure who lives there. The guy that drives that beige truck was just here, but he took off. Um, that's not my company. I've never formally met that man, never in life. So when you see that truck here, he gets out of that truck and he walks over there to Mr. Fred's house. Now, Mr. I don't know, the guy that lives Fred in the light blue house, he has a white Jeep. He was kind enough to take me on a couple of errands. So I've been in his Jeep 3 times in life, never in his house. I don't even remember his name. Just when I needed help, Mr. Fred introduced him to me maybe 20 years ago. And at that time, Letitia was, I brought her here with me, and she met Mr. Fred, and Mr. Fred liked her. So I don't know what they did after that. Okay. All the way on the end, CJ, when we first came to this community, he said, hey, y'all all right? We were not all right. We needed electricity. So he used to let us use this little jump box that you use to start a car. and we would give him $2 every day donation. Then we got a couple of those battery packs, and he would charge them for us. And the donation of $2 is something that we would do every time he helped us out, because nothing's free, right? Now, as you can see, this house is a color green. Let me see. Can you see that it's kind of green? And they just recently painted their house green. I just say the Jamaicans. They're kind to me as far as I know. I needed to go and check on my daughter, and they were kind enough to, I think that was an Uber I got in, pay the Uber 40 something dollars to get me over to Hollywood, Florida, to check on my daughter, Aset, when she was living over there with her friend Nadia. And the can I say that? The Uber guy and his um, fiance, girlfriend, they were nice enough to give me a ride back because they were coming back to Tampa, Florida. I was like, I don't have another $45 to get back to Tampa. Would you please let me come back with you? Other than that, I was going to hang out at the Wawa in Hollywood, Florida, and then in the morning time, get back on bus 19, get over to bus 54. The 54 takes you back to the park and ride at the hospital, and from there you can get a 275 LX and get back to the University Area Transfer Center or downtown Tampa. It takes a lot of time by bus to get to Hollywood, Florida, and back. So I was feeling concerned. I was listening to Tarot, and they were talking about somebody's daughter was being taken advantage of. And when I got there, she was looking like she was not feeling well, like she was upset. She wasn't being treated properly. So when I jumped out of the car, her and Nadia, they tried to pull it together to make it look like things were okay. But spiritually speaking, I don't think things were. So I dropped off 3 large pork roasts that I got from Sprouts and some tea and stuff. That was around Christmas time. So that was about a year ago. Now, can I say that? No. Okay, so back to me listening to Tarot. I'm gonna let y'all listen to a little bit of that. Can I do that? Messages about somebody being injured, going to the hospital, getting some sort of. Okay, hold on. And go quiet. So these are the lies that they're talking about. Hotels, prostituting, depression, none of those things go along with me. See? You're heartbroken. You decide to then reach out to an ex, okay, and say, I'm depressed, I want to rekindle things with you. Not true. Never happened. Never happened. Hotel, interesting. Now, she's not saying my name, but this resonates with me. And then saying something about a hospital injury and a prescription. Why is that here? Now, I want to pray for her, because a lot of times when I expose things through the internet, they attack the tarot readers. So in the name of Jesus, please protect her. So if they've had purchased some sort of medication from the hospital or from the pharmacy or whatever, and they were trying to frame you for it with a credit card, this is where they were then what? If there's credit cards being used in my name, I have no access to those credit cards, okay? If there are leases in my name, I have no lease. We pay nothing to live here. Now, behind the scenes, they have created a lease. They may have created a lease with my name on it. They may be charging the estate or my trust fund or something. They might be paying somebody. If they're paying me, I'm assuming it would be Mr. Fred next door or somebody at Mr. Fred's house. I'm trying to get up the courage to knock on the door and ask them if they have any mail of mine or if any mail of mine came to them. I have never sent mail to the box. I have the box turned around backwards. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to walk out here so you can see it. Yes. Okay. I'm going to walk out here. See the mailbox? It's turned backwards. You can't see it. There's a serious glare. Okay, you can kind of see it now. It's turned backwards, right? So I've been out here picking up condoms and cigarette butts. It always puts me in the mind of James Johnson. So maybe James Johnson is a part of whatever conspiracy they have to say that I'm doing some kind of prostituting. Now, because I need to clear my name, James Johnson, I'm going to say this. Years ago, when I was hanging out with James Johnson, he met somebody who was from Chicago, and this guy from Chicago won some kind of football pool. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up. And they went, he said he wants me to go with him to Nebraska to help him find a prostitute. Yes. What church? See what I'm talking about? Oh, wait, never mind. It's not Monday. It's Monday. Right. My daughter's concerned about me being on this thing because she thinks they're going to come and evict us again. I don't think we've ever been legally evicted. June 2nd of 2022, there were 4 police officers and 4 sheriff officers, Hillsborough County sheriff officers, in our yard. And they said we had to leave. We had been evicted. A-plus properties on the house and all this craziness. And I went downtown to, well, I had already put in a motion to stay. And the guy, Hillsborough sheriff officer said the judge denied it. They took down my YouTube channel, Lily, that had all of my evidence on there. So I guess they paid off somebody that works for YouTube to get rid of my evidence. Now, after we left there, we ended up the same place where I dropped off Johnny Will Lofton, the Good Samaritan. I dropped him off on Good Friday of 2022 because he was at my house, mad because I wouldn't let him come into my house. I told him I have 3 girls. And why would I let you come live in my house with my 3 girls? Hell no, you stay your ass on this porch. You just one man. You got a pocket full of money. You left the hotel and you left Suge's house. So why? And you left Sheila's daughter's house before that. I'm trying to pull this vine. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I'll have to get my knife and come back out here and do that. So he started calling me. Look at this. Look at this now. You see that? That's the kind of games they playing. Trying to pretend like I do drugs. I've never done a drug once in my life. But they want to try to set me up to make it look like I'm doing some shit that I'm not doing. The last person I had sex with, according to his daughter, Rita Cambridge, that would have been Alexander. Alexander? Why should I say Alexander first? Lawrence Alexander Cambridge. Yes. You're gonna knock on the neighbor's door, right? No, no. Okay. I said I've been trying to get up the courage. I didn't say I was gonna go over there. I don't think they're gonna tell me the truth anyway. My daughter is very protective of our peace, even though this may look like a dump to you guys. We were sleeping in the laundromat before we got here, and we have been many different places. And now we have continuity here, and they are messing around here trying to get us out of here. So we're going to clean out the inside and try to organize things. And I had booby traps set in the yard, and I had crap on top of the booby traps so that when they come around here, you know, we could do them the most. They like to prowl around in the yard when we're in here sleep. Nobody's come through this door other than, hey, y'all come stand over here so I can show you. And see this door right here? You see the big tree? That's how you know you're here. Nobody's come through this door other than Angola, right? Yep. Abby and me. Nobody else has come through this door. Now, if they did, they didn't have permission. Somebody is always here, but what I realized lately is when Angola and I leave, Abby's in the back sleep, and I believe some men have had the courage to come through this door without being invited. Now, I don't know how to fight everybody. I'm trying to stand up for my family, keep us together. I go down to the courthouse trying to stand up for my stolen inheritances, the illegal evictions. I don't know how to do it all. I really don't. I don't know what else to do to help myself. I keep begging of God, and I think it's working because we're still here. We're still alive, and my health is getting better. Yes. And yes, honey, you were throwing that out the door. Okay. And so we've been here. It'll be 2 years in July, right? An acquaintance of mine was looking into buying this property for me and putting it in a living trust. And I think that happened. But they might have sent it to this mailbox out here and I didn't receive the papers. Huh? I probably did. So in this neighborhood, I can ask the neighbors for help, but I try not to ask anybody for help anymore. Where's my other stuff that was in here? Huh. Oh, Lord. I can't get myself worked up about that. I was going to show you the lease. They think that with the eviction, they got all of my important papers. Um, so if you can look and see if there is a business called A Plus Properties, I don't know if that's probably a car next door in the backyard over there at the neighbor's house. I don't know if um, there is actually a real followed the protocol eviction that occurred June 2nd of 2022 from the address of 6010 North 32nd Street, Tampa, Florida 33610. That property was owned by four people: Anthony K. Atkins, my oldest and only brother. Next is Alva Melreen Atkins, my oldest sister. Next comes me, Aileen Dorothea Atkins. And then my youngest sister, Ava Raquel Atkins, is the last sibling. My mom left it to us equally. They wanted to sell, even though my mom said, do not sell this property. My mom left 6 pieces of property. She left 6010 North 32nd Street, Tampa, Florida, 33610, 1316. Quiet! Quiet! 1316 Kill Place, Valrica, Florida. What's going on? Okay, tell him to be quiet. Tell him to lay down. 1316 Kill Place, Valrico, Florida, 33594. That was between Adamo and Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard on Valrico Road. That's the house where she and Mr. Larry lived, Larry Thompson, her paramour. And when they took my twins that I gave birth to May 26, 2004 at Morton Plant Mease Hospital, Clearwater Beach, Florida, they told a bunch of lies, called me crazy because I said I had a conversation with my babies in my womb. And they took my children from the hospital. They never made it home with me. For 10 days, they were in somewhere, some foster care, I guess. I think they went to a witch or warlock's house. I think they took a lot of blood from my babies, and I think they might have used them for some kind of rituals. I didn't always believe that, but now that I'm learning about witchcraft, because it has changed my life, I wish I could show you some of my other pictures, and then you look at my face now, and you'll be like, yeah, bitch, something happened. But these people around me, my family, the baby daddies, I have more than one baby daddy, they are lying and saying that I have AIDS. I ain't got no AIDS. Okay? They're lying and say I do drugs. I ain't never done no drugs. They're lying and saying I'm an alcoholic. I ain't never drank no drinks. And they're lying and saying that I'm mentally unstable, I'm crazy, I'm sad. And that will be confirmation represented by my plane. Archangel Michael, thank you. Bye bye. They're lying and saying that I've been married. I've never been married. Never been married. Never been married. So behind my back, they have used my name with the eviction. Even before the eviction, they were stealing my identification, stealing my things from my purse, stealing mail from the mailbox, because we all grew up at that same house. We all had furniture and, safe keeps there at the property at 6010 North 32nd Street. And throughout the years, we've all left, come back, left, come back, left, come back, like that. But when I take the mail out of the box, I put the rest of the mail on the table. They weren't doing the same for me. So recently, in the last couple of weeks, Alva's been here. I didn't see her, but spiritually, I felt her presence. Out here, there was a black um, Honda. And I always, when we're getting ready to leave, because some kind of way they can hear us, I don't know whether it's through the phones or whether they have some kind of listening device here. Um, I don't know. But when I get ready to leave, I scan the area and I just try to see who's where. Look over there in the parking lot at the park. You see the racquetball court over here. They park over there in the parking lot. Hackers, gang stalkers watching to see who comes and goes, if there's nobody here, if they can come in, like that. And this is a park, so anybody can move around the park, right? There's another parking lot right there. So sometimes people are parked there. There's a couple of cars parked there now. So I don't have the right to think that just because I see a car at the park all the time that they are surveilling me. I need more evidence to convince myself that they're surveilling me. So there's a burnt orange Kia that parks over here. One dark morning, I got up, I got dressed, put on my steel-toed boots, and made my way to 4th Avenue and 26th Street to Pace Setters so that I could get work, so that I could pull me and my children up out of this foolishness, since it seems like my Chief Judge, Ronald Figueroa, doesn't mind probate crimes in the 13th Judicial Circuit Court. And then there's some other crimes going on with the illegal evictions. These fake police officers or fake sheriff officers, or these officers on the take, who come and evict people even though it hasn't gone through the proper channels. Or maybe these are people impersonating law enforcement officers. I'm not sure what the truth is yet. And I don't have anybody to join with me and help me find the truth. Now, in this neighborhood, when we first got here, there was a lot of danger for me and my children here. So we said, let the shit look a little junky. We had to cut down the grown up, overgrown bushes and stuff just to get in here and out. Okay. And to make sure there was nothing people could hide behind. But I feel a sense of safety. So I believe behind the scenes there are some agencies that are helping us. Now, I want to go back to the other evictions. First, I want to make sure I state all 6 of the properties that I know about. Let's see. Hold on. Or this, I was playing with you, and this King of Wands is fraudulent. Same goes for their wife, King of Cups. King of Wands, that would be Abraham Vada Jones. So that's Abby's father. He doesn't pay child support. It's December and I've received $0 for child support for Abby, and I've received $0 for child support from Angola's daddy, Clarence, Clarence Joseph Washington Jr. $0. No child support comes in here, no disability checks. If my children don't get out into the world and sell candy, water, soda, and I don't connect myself with those agencies, we get a little bit of money. Like, um, my children will send me little small pieces of cash here and there. For my birthday, my oldest child gave me $50. That's the largest donation of help. Well, that's a loan because I told him I would pay him back. So that's the largest amount of money I've received at one time from anybody this year. Has anybody else gave me more than $50? I might have called him back and asked him to send me another 20, so that would have been $70. So that's the largest amount of money any one person has given us. Um, Basically, what they're trying to do is eat off of me. It's about 50 of them. Eat off of my name, eat off of my Reality Speaks TV show, eat off of my, that looks like the car. Is that it? Eat off of my YouTube channels. I receive $0 from my YouTube channels. TUSK. Now, I believe somebody sent me money, but that was last year. Galvin Imisube was the Cash App that I gave. It was around Storm Ian and Melina, Galvin's girlfriend, Jubilee DeBeck, and Galvin Imisube went to some hotel somewhere for $291 a night, and he eventually told me that nobody sent him any money for me. He ain't received no money other than his brother Wesley sent him $1,000. So it took me a long time to realize that he just lied and he spent my money. I never went to that hotel. I never went to that hotel. I was moving my items from the Good Samaritan, where I took it upon myself to pile them up in a corner in next to that little white house across from the Good Samaritan Inn. That property was owned by the Green family, who on the other side of the street had like an automotive place. I think they sold it. When we went past there on the bus, it doesn't say Green Automotives anymore. It's just a building that's been painted. The signs have been taken down. I hope and pray he's okay. And I was determined to just sit outside and guard my stuff because I had purchased two planks of 6x8, 8x6 privacy fencing. And that was because whenever I took my car, I would create a fence so that people couldn't see my car to try to steal it or steal my items. And I sat outside in Storm Ian. I got so mad that I was just looking over there at the Good Samaritan because they wouldn't let us stay there that night, even though I think it was supposed to be a shelter for people who needed shelter. And I said, God, it's not right what they're doing to me. And I kept staring, and the chandelier fell. And I said, whoa, okay. So now, granted, there was a storm, so I could just be playing tricks with my mind. Then I said, okay, well, if I got that kind of power, that sign, the INN part is dangling, knock it down. And it fell off. Now, I didn't ask for the good to fall or the Samaritan, so I must not have been too convinced that I was a powerful person. They've since replaced the sign. Um, they had an event yesterday from 11 to 1. We didn't go. It's a Christmas event for homeless. We haven't been homeless in almost 2 years, and thank God for that. We still depend on their services because we don't have anything to cook with, and that's really hard. So we still plug into their cooked foods and, you know, underwear, socks, and things like that that they give out. We still go out into the world and get those items. Who is patrol? Should I respond to the questions that are in the chat? No. Patrol, maybe you can send me your personal, not personal, what do I mean? Like at me your I don't know how this works. Your handle, and I can answer some of those questions. We do have shelter, and my daughter just went and picked up plates from um, K Street Thorn Ministry. So we're eating now. So you all donate to Thorn Ministries. They do good work every Sunday. They come. They have toiletries. They have pain pills. They have mosquito rings. They have clothes. They have blankets for people that are homeless. They give you a hot meal, something to drink, and a snack bag with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, crackers, Rice Krispie treats, pudding, and things like that to get you through a couple of days. And it's a real blessing. Where do I go to finish this up? Making sure that the 6 pieces of property that were listed in my mother's will, I talk about 2212 East Mallory, Tampa, Florida, 33604 or '05. And 2210 East Mallory Avenue, Tampa, Florida, directly behind the Florida Sentinel Bulletin here in Tampa, Florida. Those 2 properties my mom bought from her mother, Irene P. Scarborough. And 700 East Harem Avenue, Opelika, Florida. Hey. 700 East Harem, Opelika, Florida. My brother's house that was purchased by my mom. He had it switched into his name. And Pike County, my granddaddy Doug Starks, his property my mom bought. And my mother's will said share equally. So they stole that will from my personal effects with the eviction. But I had already shipped it to several different people. And that will said share equally. Now, when I went back to the 13th Judicial Circuit Court to get another copy of my mom's will, her estate was probated in 2009, 2008. This lady said her name was Arlene, which I believe she was lying. She said, "Oh, your mother's will is no longer available. Sometimes we shred them after a certain period of time." So whenever I go down there, because my brother, I'm alleging, is paying off clerks, people within Cindy Stewart's office. Cindy Stewart is our clerk for Hillsborough County, and he's paying off judges like Barbara Twine Thomas. She's a black lady. I'm a black lady, right? He's paying off judges like Cheryl Thomas. She's a black lady. I'm a black lady. He's a black man. So money talks, and that's just the way it is. I'm alleging. Tamika Jones, he paid off, I'm alleging. When I went to file my handwritten motion to stay at 6010 North 32nd Street, Tamika was my clerk for that day, and I handed her the entire eviction packet, illegal detainer, that was given to me by Evelyn Rizzardo, the property manager of A Plus Properties. The Eric Allen was the so-called owner. I looked up all this stuff. Evelyn Rizzardo was not a certified, bonded notary public, but she notarized the eviction packet. Eric Allen was nowhere a part of A Plus Properties. A Plus Properties did not even have a effective and active business license. It's just lies. So, how did four Hillsborough County Sheriff officers and four Tampa Police Department officers end up all in my front yard to evict me? Now, officers SAEY of the Hillsborough County Sheriff Department put me out of my house. Four of my children and my nephew, Alexander Malik Thompson. Marcus Leggett, who is my sister Ava Atkins' friend that they went to school together. I think they were behind me, but I knew Marcus Leggett. I don't know why. So maybe Marcus is along with me. And the last year when Ava came, Ava was born November. No, that's wrong. I'm born November 24th, 1970. Ava. So maybe Ava is saying she's born in November. I don't know what kind of lies are going on. But Ava was born October 26th, 1973. So the 3 years difference means my last year in high school, she would have just been making it a 10th, 11th, 12th. So, some kind of way, she might have gone to school with him 1 year in between junior high school and high school. She went to Tampa Bay Technical School, high school, over near Orient Road, and I graduated from Armwood Senior High School in Seffner, Florida. So I've named all the properties. Out of those properties, I got zero. My brother Anthony, he's a scammer, identity thiever, fraud, and he has been stealing and cashing my checks, I'm alleging. I'm still waiting for two checks, one from FEMA and one from the United States Department of Labor. I got shot at while I was working at Rogers Park Golf Course. And should I say that? No, just focus on that. I was working with People Ready, which is one of those labor pool services. And the company I worked for was ABM, American Building Maintenance. So ABM is an acronym. I loved my job. I raked bunkers early in the morning, 5:30 on Bertha, and I did landscaping throughout the 18-hole golf course, and I really enjoyed being there. I got off 1:30, 2:30, and I still had time to do other things. And it was right up the street from my house off of 32nd and Hannah. You just continue down Hannah into that dead end, and there's the golf course right near Sly and 32nd Street, 30th Street. So I haven't received those checks, and I keep complaining to Ashley Moody, my attorney general in Tallahassee, Florida. But because my family is still stealing my mail, and because they may have power of attorney or conservatorship over me in some way, I basically have no life. I don't exist. I'm here, I'm breathing, I'm struggling, I'm exposing. However, I have no financial authority over myself. So who does? Um, don't end up behind bars just because you didn't know what would happen after a self-defense incident. I'm here to bring you this 100% free guide. The 6 things you didn't know would happen when the police. Almost. I have several fake friends that I haven't talked to for years. Donnie Dwayne Flowers. Is he the one, God, that did the most damage? Yes, because he pretended to be my friend, and I would go to his house to handle business matters, not ask him his opinion or ask him his help. I asked him to help me get an extension on paying my Muay Thai fees for Angola. Angola was taking Muay Thai, Art of the Eight Hands, something like that, in downtown Tampa, Ybor City, more like, over by Stetson University here in Tampa. And he helped me with that. Everything else I asked him he couldn't help me with. And he told me he was a surgeon over at St. Joseph's Hospital. I don't even know if the man even worked at St. Joseph's Hospital. I don't check behind people. Well, I used to not check behind people and what they tell me now. Any person that I would want to get involved with, I would do a 6 month search and hire several private investigators and go to their hometowns and talk to their parents or whatever family was left. I would talk to exes. So I'm probably not going to end up in any relationships at this point because most people don't want you digging that deep down into their personal affairs. Had I done that with Donnie, I believe I wouldn't have. I'm listening to Tarot. They're talking about an alleged kidnapping, a planned kidnapping. That resonates with me. But let me, I want whoever fake married me to go to jail, and whoever is lying against my name and saying that I'm selling sex, I want them to go to jail. I don't know how to get beyond that. I've worked so hard to keep a good name for myself, and for them to do this for money, it and it's probably not just money, just revenge as well. I tend to piss off a lot of people. I try to be honest, and sometimes my tongue is brutally honest, and people tend to hate that. People tend to hate when they give you 10% and you don't reward them like they gave you 100%. They don't they don't like that. I do want to stop and say thank you to all the people that have been praying for me because I have been poisoned several times, and there's been some very scary people to walk upon me, and I believe they intended to kill me, and I'm still here, and I believe that's because so many people are a part of my begging for a billion campaign, and that when I ask you to pray for me, you pray for me. I do want to say that if there is a person that's getting disability in my name, I have received $0. I do want to say that if there is any disability checks for Abby Atkins, Abby Jones Atkins, I receive $0. If there's any disability or child support for Angola, Wasette Washington Atkins, I receive $0. They have been with me since I pushed them out in the bathroom. And both of these girls were born in the bathroom at home births. So Angola's about to be 18. Um, Clarence has paid $0 child support to me. If somebody else got it, I don't know it, and they didn't spend it on her. And Abby is 14, and we've received about $1,300 in child support in the 14 years of her being on the earth. The reason I didn't whine a lot before is because you have to take responsibility for the people you fall beneath. So I fell underneath these very slack men. And ain't no sense in me calling them names because, hey, it is what it is. So I'm responsible partly for my children being here. I didn't choose those men. I let those men choose me. And because I let them choose me, I ended up getting the short end of the stick. So I try to take responsibility for that. But when I call you and ask you for money for Christmas and birthdays and you ain't got nothing, but oh well, I that's something I would do for my wife. I needed to pay my insurance. And Abby's father, Abraham Vada Jones, um, lived on 42nd. We lived on 32nd. I bopped over there and said, "Hey, can you please give me, $200-300? Let me pay my car insurance." Well, I don't have any money right now, which was almost the whole story all the time, unless I was threatening to put him on child support, and then he would, pay a couple of months and then stop. And I said, "Well, do you have a credit card? Can you put it on a credit card?" "Yeah, but that's something I would only do for my wife." And I think he might be one of the ones that was one of these fake husbands that went behind my back and married me. And then took a cash bribe from my brother and signed away my rights to the 25% of my mother's estate that I own. Now, out of 6 properties, that's at least $2 million. But they're telling me that I've got $19,000 at the courthouse from the sale of a house that they sold for $306,000. That's supposed to be split 4 ways. So how do you get $19,000 from that? But no doubt, if they did sell the house, my brother had back child support from his children that are 30, what? Ashley has to be about 38 or 39. Ariel has to be about 35 or 36. So he was paying off the rest of his back child support. And who else would we have owed? Well, his child support was 30,000 each kid, so that's 60. But I guarantee you he got his portion. But you see what I'm talking about? He basically stole my portion. And then they're going to tell me to go pick up $19,000. Out of 6 properties, I get $19,000. What can I do with $19,000? I can't buy no house for $19,000. Not here in Tampa, Florida. I can't go get me no new car with $19,000, not unless it's going to be some little itty bitty thing that me and my 4 children that I still am helping to establish a foundation for their life. We can't get in there and go nowhere. But it's like, oh, well, we don't care. We're just going to take advantage of her because we can. And so they have. And so I've had to put my foot down and continue to stay separated from them. Maybe they thought I was going to come back begging, Anthony, please let me. Can I stay here? Can I? No, I said, God, if you can give me health and strength, I'm not going back to them people. Never, never, ever, ever, and ever. And none of them baby daddies and none of them fake friends that thought it was a cute idea to evict me, 4 of my children, and my nephew. And they all sat around and snickered and thought it was cute. Letitia Karima Penn, my fake friend, she was in on it, I'm alleging. Tansy Liznette Hammond, my other fake friend, who was really more so Ava's friend than my friend, she was in on it. And it was very hurtful, but I didn't have time to cry. I had to put my thinking cap on. And I want to say thank you to Leslie Calvin Brown, my motivational mentor, and Herb Cohen, my negotiator, my negotiations coach. He has a book titled You Can Negotiate Anything. I was about to say You Can Heal Your Life. That's Louise Hay. So I'm going to say thank you to Louise Hay as well. Her products and the Hay House Publishing Company helped me a lot early on. Is that Anna's husband, James? Okay, well, let's talk about Natalie Renee Carnegie, my fat fake friend from Tallahassee, by way of Williamsburg, Virginia. I was about to tell her whole rundown, but ain't no sense in putting her sisters and brothers in this because they probably don't deal with that. Ooh, I'm about to start talking ugly now. Hold on. I'm about to start talking ugly. That's that car. Huh. Is that Josie? Is that Zay? Is that Galvin? Galvin and Zay. So that means this live is not going to be available. If you can, anybody that's listening, save this live. I'm probably going to need to get a copy from you because the hackers live in this neighborhood and they park on the other street. And when I'm done with the lives, they mark them private so that you can't get to it. And then they disappear. and they play games, they'll reappear, disappear like that. So, do I need to say more? I have many inheritances that I did not claim. Can I list some of the people that I think are doppelgangers? No. All right. Well, you all pray for me that justice will be served. If you can buy, and that truck right there, that is not anybody that is my friend. He goes to Mr. Fred's house right over there. Even though he parks across that way, that man gets out and goes to Mr. Fred's house. He has never been over here. We have never had a casual conversation, nothing like that. And I'm only saying that because they're saying that I am in a relationship. And I haven't been in a relationship with anybody since Lawrence. Okay, let me clarify that. I have not had a penis inside of my vagina since Lawrence, and that was in May of 2020. Lawrence got sick June 4th of 2020 after, I think, eating a plate over at Veronica Davis's house. His childhood friend lived across the street from him. And he ended up going to the hospital on Monday. And during COVID, you had to drop him off on the curb. You couldn't go in. And to end a very devastating, what could be a long story, he allegedly died July 13th of 2020. When I talked to his daughter Rita, she said, "My dad died on the 13th." And I said, "No." And I hung up the phone because I was sad, because I was supposed to be fasting for 3 days, asking God to heal him. And I only made it through 2 days. On the third day, I went to Hurricane Grocery Store. It used to be on Sly and Central. They moved to Hillsboro now, I think West Hillsboro. And I was in line to buy a plate, and I saw Chris Friedman, who was our code enforcement guy in my neighborhood. And he said, "Whatever happened to that guy you were helping take care of?" I said, "I don't know. I'm supposed to be praying. I haven't talked to him. I'll call and get an update on him when I get back to the house." And I did call, and she told me her dad was dead. And for a year or two, I believed that. But I now believe that he faked his death, collected some insurance money, and went on about his business. So if there's anybody who told you they had sex with me and it was after May of 2020, they had to have raped me. And for all these women that don't mind helping these men smear other women's names by lying and pretending to be the women, I cast judgment on you hoes too. Now I'm gonna try to keep my tongue clean so that I don't have problems from YouTube. I don't get paid from YouTube, so I know I've created a lot of money, but I don't get them paychecks. I don't know who does. So I guess I'm closing this out by saying, pray for me that I have the strength to get somewhere and get a couple of dressers or bookshelves so that I can organize this. This is not a big pile. It's not a big pile, but it annoys me when things are not orderly and organized. I need a couple of power tools, 18 volt. Let me show you. I bought this from the thrift store and I want to keep it, but it doesn't work for what I need it for. I need to be able to use the batteries because I don't have electricity. So this thing right here, I need about 4 of these. 18 volt XRP lithium ion by DeWalt. There's 2 other batteries, 2 other companies that make an interchanging one. I didn't bother taking this back to the pawn shop because I really want to keep it. And we paid about $55 for it. Was that last Saturday in Gold or 2 Saturdays ago? I think it's been 2 Saturdays now. So I've been going around to different pawn shops trying to find that battery. I went to Home Depot last weekend, the tool rental part, and I bought the little itty bitty battery, and I thought that that might make things work, but it didn't. Let me show you. See back there? So we unscrewed this. Another customer bought me two batteries, the CR2032, and we replaced the battery in here, and it still didn't work. So let me show you what I learned, because I was really taxing the guy that worked back there in the tool department. If I had known how to read this, I would have not even bought it, because this tells you if the light is bleeping fast, 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 like this, that it needs to be replaced. Let me see. Okay, you see dot, dot, space, dot, dot means problem with power line. But you see the beep, dot, 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 dot says replace pack. Okay, so this pack needed to be replaced, but I didn't know that when I was in the store. As I was talking to the guy who works in the store, maybe it was the owner, he said, oh, well, it just needs to be charged. I said, well, how long do you think? I mean, if I wait in the store for a little bit and charge it, is that good? He said, no. So maybe he didn't know that this right here meant replace, because this light kept going, which means a continual dot, 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 which means the battery pack needs to be replaced. So when I went to Home Depot, they only had 20 volts in the Home Depot that I went to, which was off of Del Mabry and Columbus. So, oh, you can only get it online. I prefer not to order things online, because now that my family knows where I am, they sit up the block, and I am alleging that if a UPS or somebody comes here, they just come over and say, oh, I'm waiting on a package. You got my package? How do they know? Because I'm talking on this phone right now. They listen. They listen to everything that happens in here. And so the best solution would be to get a power pole here, or a solar generator. We have this generator here, right? This is only a 300-watt generator. Can you even see it?
So they decided to get rid of you.
That's Jackery, 100-watt generator. Oh man, you got a 24%. But I keep asking For Patriot and Jackery to donate generators to churches, and then when I talk to the churches, they're like, oh no, we haven't received anything. And then when I talk to the companies, it's like, oh yeah, we sent some stuff there. And you can't go and say, well, I think you're lying. I don't. I just pray and say, God, can you move upon them people's heart to give me a generator? They really sent generators to them. I'm the whole reason that they got the generators. And they did give us some of the military meals. I just threw one out. We ended up having to feed it to the dog last night. So they gave us some of the military meals that came from the Fort Patriot people. Well, I'm alleging they came from the Fort Patriot people. But I need at least a 3,000-watt generator. I found one by Blutini at the pawn shop. They want $800. This is where I have a problem. I bought this for $55 2 weeks ago. I can't use it. Why can't I use it? I ain't got no electricity. So the whole purpose for me buying this was to use the battery, the ion battery, which is no good. So that's $55 that I'm just stuck with. On November 23rd, I went to the red, white, and blue thrift store and I bought this. Nobody here drinks, but we do take the cardboard out of the trash cans at the corner store to put down for the dogs. I went and bought this for $34.99 right here so that I could cook our food and we wouldn't have to go to the ministries to eat. It won't stay lit. This one right here, it starts flaming up and then the flame goes flat. They won't give me my $34 back. Well, $34.99 plus tax. And then they marked it like they checked it, right? But did you go and buy white gas by Coleman and put it in there and check it, or are you lying? So when I went back there to get a refund, my daughter went up to try and buy some headphones, and the headphones didn't work. But she was in there arguing with me, saying, "Mom, why don't you just let it go?" Is it? What is this? Yeah, it was. Why don't you just let it go? I mean, I'll give you my $30. She had just made $30 from selling chocolate, but she's working to buy herself a iPad. So I'm like, why would you give up your $30 when I gave these people my money for something that works? If it doesn't work, they should give me my money back. Now here's where the problem lies. I didn't keep the receipt. They double bagged it at my request. The bags were tearing up. By the time I got here, I was so excited thinking I'm going to cook me some chicken livers with some onions, make me some gravy. I was excited. Maybe scramble some eggs. And I must have thrown the receipt away in the white bags that they had it in. So it's not their fault that I didn't keep my receipt. But what I was saying to them is, this is a product that I couldn't plug in the wall and check before I took it out. It required gas. So I went to Walmart and paid $14.98 on a gallon of Coleman white gas, clear gas, white gas, I can't remember. Put it in there, did the little pumping 35 times. It would light up, but it didn't stay. And so I tried to take it to a small engine shop where they repair lawnmowers. And he wanted to make an appointment for me. And that didn't really work because time was ticking and I didn't get back down in there again. So by the time I go back, they're like, oh, it's been too long. And I was frustrated because I spent several $100s trying to buy camcorders from them when they first came out. And they're like, oh, well, it's posted, no returns, no return, it's on the receipt. But if you're selling stuff that you know don't work, that doesn't apply. So I got this thing, it doesn't work. The headphones my daughter picked up didn't work. So maybe this is like a little clandestine fraud business that you're running where you know you're putting stuff out that doesn't work. And because you posted no refunds, we're supposed to take the loss. So I explained to them, I can't take the hit. You give me my nearly $40 back and I can go over to the Bravo grocery store and buy me a one eye burner, brand new in the box, and I guarantee you it's going to work. And so I decided not to argue with them anymore, but I am looking for an attorney that would file a lawsuit with me on this at the red, white, and blue so I can get my $200 and probably $50 back out of all the products that I've purchased since they've been there on Florida Avenue and Waters Avenue that I had to suck up that, oh, well, it doesn't work. You didn't make sure you had all the pieces. You didn't, you know, sometimes like when I buy the VHSC camcorders or I buy the high eights, you need a tape to put inside of the machine after you um, charge it to make sure it all works. Sometimes you buy it and it doesn't have the charging cord. So you got to go out and